here's another thing that needs to be done, and it's a small thing, okay, small thing. Now, I'm not criticizing here, and I want to make sure that the new Tory leader understands we are all wishing you the best, because we need all the voices up here we can get. We're not party political, but we do want a prominent spokesman to speak for the union, and it might be you, and if it's you, good on you, mate. If it's somebody from another party, fine. But here's something that you, as the Tory leader in Scotland, should be doing, and everybody else as well, who is not just an MSP or an MP, but an individual. And it is something which occurred to us because we read Douglas Ross's article in the Daily Telegraph. And he talks about the UK government. Good. He talks about the UK government. He calls it the UK government once, and he talks about the government, by which I got the impression he was talking about the UK government. But then he talks about the Scottish government and Nicola Sturgeon's government and our two governments. Now, it was King James VI who invented this flag, who said that you cannot have two heads on one body. Okay, two heads on one body is not sustainable. The organism will die. It's like a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. Okay, two heads on one body is not sustainable. And so if you are going to talk about the UK government and the Scottish government in the same breath and capitalize the letter as the word as well, G, then you are putting, whether you like it or not, even if you don't intend to, you are putting Nicola Sturgeon on the same level as the British government, okay? And you are creating in people's minds the idea that there is an equivalency and that they both have similar powers, and that for some reason the British government is putting down the Scottish government in some way and holding it and oppressing it and so on. Because if they were two governments, then why on earth is this government not independent? Okay, I'll tell you why. It's because it's not a government. It does not have the powers of a sovereign government. So it's not a government, it's an administration. An administration, and in fact, it is a devolved arm of the British government, quite literally. It was set up by the British government to be in a vertical relationship, a hierarchical relationship, one over the other. It's a devolved arm of the British state. It is an administration, okay? The SNP is the administration. It used to be called executive, which was a good word to imply the same thing. But if you're going to call it a government, you are going to compromise your ability to argue your case. So even if technically it is called government, even if everybody else is calling it a government, doesn't mean that you have to call it that. You should talk much more about the SNP administration, not about the SNP government or Nicola Sturgeon's government or the government at Holyrood. You should talk about the administration at Holyrood, Nicola Sturgeon's administration, Nicola Sturgeon's administration, Holyrood's administration, the SNP administration. But once you start talking in terms of government, then you are giving it an equivalency. There's no question that that's what you're doing, and that is totally confusing the constitutional relationship. So please, and I mean this well, try to avoid that language, because it's very constitutionally confusing to people out there. And as I've said before, reality is created by the words that come out of politicians' mouths.